Yo, what's up YouTube? I'm back here with another kill video. I kind of want to do another VOD review right here. This is going to be the Hungering Destroyer VOD review, where I go through the fight. I kind of want to show you guys what's going to be going on in this fight, how I play it, why our cooldowns are set the way they're set, and pretty much just give you an overall viewpoint on how the fight goes from a healer perspective, specifically Resto Shaman. So let's get to it. Basically, Hungering Destroyer is the third boss in the raid. If you go left, so you kill Shrieking Ring Huntsman, then you get to Hungering Destroyer. The thing about Hungering Destroyer is that Disc Priests own this fight. Okay, let's just put that disclaimer out there. Disc Priests own this fight. They're really good on this fight because you simply can't heal 4 of the people that have the debuff. Like, you literally cannot heal them. So shielding is so good on this fight. Having Disc Priest in your comp saves you a lot of hassle that comes along with progression in terms of learning how to soaks, having your raid team learning how to deal with the debuff and the stacks and stuff like that, spreading out. When you're spreading out for expunges, you have Disc Priest shielding them so that their circle isn't getting wider because they're taking damage from the miasma, stuff like that, right? So Disc Priest is really good in this fight. Another really good class, which is second, I would say second best class in this fight, is Resto Shaman. Resto Shaman. So Resto Shaman is amazing on this fight, not because of their insane HPS that they could do just overall in general, but more so because of Spirit Link and Ankh Totem. So Spirit Link is really, really good on this fight because there's gonna be times where you're gonna see on this fight where we drop a Spirit Link and someone with the miasma debuff will be low during a consume, and if they dip into the Spirit Link, they then restabilize their health, right? Like, so Spirit Link pretty much does not care if you have miasma or not, right? It'll restabilize your health to a certain point, which is like the halfway point or wherever that percentage is, to get you healthy enough before the debuff, like before you die for the debuff to transfer. You see what I'm saying? So Spirit Link is really good. Ankh Totem's really good just in case you mess up soaking, stuff like that. Earthen Wall Totem's pretty good on this fight too, but I think Ankh Totem's really good for progression. Earthen Wall definitely be probably taken on farm, stuff like that. So this isn't our first kill, but this is a really good kill. This is a 4, we end up 4 healing this day, but our first kill we 5'd heals. So I do recommend for first kills that you go for a 5 heal composition. I would say the ideal composition would be like 2 Disc Priest, 2 Shaman, Paladin. That's what we ran. It was really comfortable, really good. We had 2 Spirit Links, 2 Ankh Totems. We had a Devo. We had the Paladin for the damage. We had 2 Disc Priests. And pretty much what the Disc Priest run is Spirit Shell. So that's the basics of what Disc Priest is running right now. Most every single Disc Priest is running Spirit Shell. For our progression, which we ended up killing like week 1, we opted to go with the Avenge Rapture strategy, which helped our team a little bit more than it might help other teams. But the reason I decided to have our priest go Avenge Rapture was because we were having a lot of problems with soaking. So I felt like our Disc Priest could kind of carry them by Avenge healing the Desolates, which is the big slam that Hungering Destroyer does. And then whenever we would do Expunge, they would then be able to Rapture Wrap right after that and give those expunge targets, like kind of target those specific 4 people and others as well, but give them really big shields, right? So that's kind of, I'm kind of going into more like general strategy right now, but that's kind of the strategy that we went for our first kill. Now, kills after that, we ended up going Spirit Shell because obviously Spirit Shell is really, really good, but that was what I decided for us, our Disc Priest to do. We kind of took that from Echo. That was Echo's strategy, so we ended up doing that strategy. Just because, like I said, that helped our raid team a little bit more. But nonetheless, let's get to it. Let's get into Resto Shaman. For Resto Shaman, we ran Spirit Link Totem. I'll drop the talents here somewhere, but we ran Spirit Link Totem. Oh, what am I talking about? We ran Ankh Totem. We ran Wind Rush Totem, and you can run either or. You can run Torrent or Unleashed Life. I ended up running Unleashed Life. It seems like Torrent is starting to have a lot of popularity in a lot of these logs, and I know that's a hot debate, hot topic. Torrent is a good ability and definitely can be used. Unleashed Life gives you that versatility that you might be able to want when you want to, maybe, let's say, if you do want to cast that chain heal, you have that Unleashed Life chain heal option. If you do want to cast you know, you want to set up those Riptides out and then you want to Unleash Life P-Wave, you have that opportunity to be able to do that and get those fat, like, 5-6 healing waves going out. So Unleash Life's really good. Torrent's really good. Torrent gives you that ability to, like, drop a global, you know, stuff like that. So let's go into the fight. I'll try to make it fairly quick, but let me turn this down. So basically, we're doing like pretty much what everyone's doing is like make a box around the boss, and my frames end up messing up on this fight because I was trying to like tweak some of I was trying to mess with the debuff a little bit in my frames, so they're kind of messed up. So you'll see some messed up frames a little bit, but nonetheless, you know, somehow try to indicate what targets have the debuff. So what 4 targets have the debuff, and then as a shaman, it's your job to heal the others, right? Pretty simple. So right here, we're going into an expunge. At this point, we spread out, and pretty much, like I said, all I can do is just heal the other people that are not with the miasma debuff. Now, as a shaman, you pretty safe when you have the debuff. You're not likely to die. You have Astral Shift, which is really good. It lasts 12 seconds, so that's nearly half the debuff's duration. You're really safe during that as long as your team is keeping you alive and soaking for you before these Desolates, before these expunges, and giving you that opportunity to give you like 80% or so, give you that threshold. You should be fairly fine, right? Right here. So like I said, we have our priest spirit shell. Pretty much the first Desolate, we have one of our Disc Priest Spirit Shell, and then the second Desolate is when we start the timer for our second Disc Priest to Spirit Shell. That expunge right there, I ended up running Healing Tide Totem because we needed the extra supplemental healing. And then right here on Consume, we end up going to Skull. That's our point, and we drop a Link, and we should be dropping AMZ and Barrier here as well. We don't drop the AMZ, but AMZ is really good right here. The Link, like I said, allows for your raid to like stabilize. If you have the miasma targets, they can dip in. You don't want them to like go into the middle because they can technically reapply a debuff stack. So you don't want that, right? But you want them to be close enough so that they can touch the Spirit Link so that they can restabilize and then they can get back out, right? And then after this, we usually lose somebody right after this. So that's whenever I opted to drop our APT, our Ankh Totem. And we kind of, this fight's really simple. It's really a rinse and repeat fight, right? It's not too hard, but, you know, as the shaman, you don't really have, like, the opportunity to heal the targets, like, heal, I say, but more so, like, be able to keep the targets with the miasma safe. So it's your job to just keep everyone else alive while the Disc Priests, like I said, they're able to cover the whole raid, but their job specifically on this fight is really to just keep those targets alive with their shields. Like it's so good on this fight. So I'm running Wellspring. Wellspring is a super good talent on this fight. It's good on every single fight, right? But the biggest thing as a Resto Shaman is just to make sure you're keeping healing rain on cooldown. So make sure you're constantly putting a healing rain down. Try to cover as many groups as possible. Wellspring is an ability that you want to use on cooldown pretty much, but don't use it if you're gonna overheal, right? Like you want to kind of time it up for Desolates and time it up for pretty much Desolate is like the biggest thing that you want to use it for, right? If you have 6 or more targets being injured, Wellspring. Desolate is the perfect damage event, and it comes in a notable time that you can get Wellsprings out and do notable healing, right? Make sure you have a Cloudburst Totem at that time. Like I said, make sure you're Riptiding on cooldown, and make sure you're just sitting here spot healing a bunch of targets with Healing Wave. And like I said, we have a second Resto Shaman in here. So right after the second Consume, we have him drop his Ankh Totem so that we can kind of stabilize. We have that 10% buff, maximum HP. We have that res protection just in case someone does go down. They're low, they might get slammed, they might overlap lasers, whatever the case may be. We have that Ankh Totem just to kind of keep them safe. Like I said, this is more like a progression thing. Once you get on farm, you might be able to play a little bit more Earthenwild Totem. But either way, both are fine. I think Ankh Totem is just that extra level of safety, right? So we drop a Healing Tide Totem right here, and that's just to keep the raid like stabilized before we go to expunge, right? The strategy is make sure you get people high enough for the next damage event. So the most important damage events on this fight is Desolate and Expunge. So as long as people are around 80 to 90%, 75 to 90%, they're pretty safe for desolates, right? You have enough time to heal them up in between the desolate and the expunge. Once the expunge goes out, you want people to be around 90%. That expunge is going to hit them pretty hard, barring any cleave or anything. You want to, as a healer, you want to make sure they're pretty safe, right? Another thing we used on progression was, I was the one calling cooldowns, but another thing that we did for progression was I would opt to call. We have 2 disc priests, we have a paladin, so I would usually call for one of the disc priests or one of the paladin, our paladin, to use their external on a low miasma target if they need to, right? So pain supping, let's say someone's at 50% and they're a miasma target, and they're at 50%, and we're about to go to expunge. Pain sup that target immediately, and that'll give them that little DR that they need to keep them safe for the expunge, right? Because we literally can't heal them. During expunge, we're running out, and they can't be healed. No one can soak them to get them back up, right? So that's another little trick, little nuance that definitely you should use to your advantage. You have the 2 disc priests, you have a paladin. Use their externals for those specific targets, the miasma targets. There's nothing really else to use an external. Tanks don't really take too much damage. They necessarily don't need the external. So, yeah, like I said, for the most part, this was a fairly simple fight. It's the 3rd boss in the raid. It's not too hard. Right here on our healing meters, you see the 2 shamans on top. This is not really an accurate representation of what the healing meter should look like, right? Your disc priest should be on top, and your shaman should be like slightly lower than them. Simply because, like I said, disc priests are running Spirit Shell. I opted to have our disc priests run Evangel and Rapture for the case that, we had a little bit more safety. But if your priest most likely will be running Spirit Shell, the healing meters might look a little bit different, right? So, yeah, guys, that was a quick little, Hungry Destroyer overview, VOD review. Pretty simple fight. I can, if you want, comment, like, subscribe, but if you want, comment in the bottom, let me know. I can drop our healing cooldowns if you'd like. I mean, you see them on the left right here, but I can drop them. I also can drop you some timers for Spirit Shell. It's really simple just to change Evangel and Rapture to Spirit Shell. I know those timers as well. I can drop those if you'd like. So, like I said, comment, subscribe, like, do all that stuff. Let me know. I plan on dropping pretty much a kill video for every single boss in the raid, and I want to go over a VOD review on every single boss and give you that healer perspective. That way, whenever you go into these fights, you know how to play it, especially as a Resto Shaman, which we're really, really good this tier, but you know how to play the fight. You know how to go in there, and you know how to pretty much carry your team. So, yeah, follow me on twitch.tv/Jdtre. We raid Monday through Friday, which is a lot, but I do raid every day of the week pretty much. So go to my channel. We will be raiding, ask questions, do all that. And yeah.